So, you know how everyone plans to become a streamer and, dreams of just staying at home, creating content, maybe doing some memes. I believe the kids are calling them memes or memes. Where you take pieces of other intellectual properties and you like take screenshots, you put little funny captions on them, or you voice over like a scene from a show, like stuff like that. Hello, Kobe Bobby. Um, Stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Um, or react videos. The backbone of content creation on YouTube and Twitch. Well, that might all be going away pretty soon. So here's part of where we are now, currently between a rock and a legal hard place, right? There is now a law being proposed in Congress that will essentially make it a felony to broadcast copyrighted material. So when we're talking about Twitch, broadcasting video games is broadcasting copyrighted material. Using film clips to create a funny meme is technically broadcasting copyrighted material. Like, when we're talking about what this law could do, it effectively ends 95% maybe of the content creation going on sites like Twitch, on YouTube, and yeah, we're in kind of like we're a little bit on the edge of some sort of new internet apocalypse, right? Now, you might think, well, okay, this is not great. What can we do? Hopefully it's a standalone piece of legislation being pushed by crazies. However, while it is a work of political crazies, most notably Republican Senator Thom Tillis, one of the worrying aspects of this is that it is tied in with a defense spending bill, I believe. Let's dive into this and see whether or not we should be scared or whether or not we should be, cautiously optimistic. Okay. Proposed U.S. law could slap Twitch streamers with felonies for broadcasting copyrighted material. By my good friend Nathan Grayson. Nathan, if you're out there, I miss playing D&D with you. It was very fun. The United States government is, as we all know, extremely functional. Oh, gosh. All right. Thom Tillis backed similar proposals previously. Yep. Points to examples like an album on YouTube, a video clip on Twitch, or a song in an Instagram story. Into a felony offense with a possible prison sentence. Yep. Currently, such violations, no matter how severe, are considered misdemeanors rather than felonies, because the law regards streaming as public performance. Hello, I'm performing for you, my audience. Alright. Let's see. With Twitch currently in the crosshairs of the music industry, such a change would turn up the heat on streamers and Twitch even higher, perhaps to an untenable degree. Other platforms like YouTube would almost certainly suffer as well, obviously. Do you think that the Google lobby, if that exists, it certainly does, would let that happen in any way? I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Because you know what else has a big lobby? The music industry. The music industry has a colossal lobby. A felony streaming bill would likely be a chill on expression, to put it extremely mildly. Gosh, Catherine Trendacosta, Associate Director of Policy and Activism with the Electronic Frontier Foundation. We already see that it's hard enough in just civil copyright, and the DMCA, for people to feel comfortable asserting their rights, the chance of a felony would impact both expression and innovation. The Senate Judiciary Committees have agreed to package the streaming felony proposal with other controversial provisions that include the Case Act, which would establish a new court-like entity within the U.S. Copyright Office to resolve copyright disputes, and the Trademark Modernization Act, which would give the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office more flexibility to crack down on illegitimate claims from foreign countries. Alongside the felony streaming proposal, these provisions have drawn ire from civil rights groups, digital rights nonprofits, and companies including the aforementioned Electronic Frontier Foundation, the Internet Archive, American Library Association, and the Center for Democracy and Technology. Collectively, these groups and others penned a letter to the U.S. Senate last week. We'll take a look at that letter. We'll read the full text after this. It's not difficult to see why Tillis would push a proposal that benefits big companies in the entertainment industry to the detriment of regular people. The American Prospect points out that the past couple years, Tillis's campaign committee and leadership received donations totaling out to well over $100,000 from PACs with ties to the Motion Picture Association, Sony Pictures, Universal Music Group, Comcast and NBC Universal, the Internet and Television Association, Salem Media Group, and Warner Music, among many others. Today, the House passed a stopgap spending bill to keep the lights on until December 18th. For now, the government will continue to deliberate over these issues and many others, including the much-talked-about coronavirus relief package that has yet to materialize, even with numbers in the U.S. at an all-time high. So, yeah, this is one of many different packages on the table. I would honestly not be surprised if, along with these other things getting packaged, if it all got thrown in together in one massive spending bill at the last minute on December 18th, that would not surprise me. It would not surprise me in the least. Brings to mind LimeWire and Napster. Yeah. It would not surprise me at all if they put all of these together into one package and passed them at the last minute, and then we're dealing with this for decades to come. The entire internet, please, can I have a little fair use? I just want a little bit of Congress. A little bit. Congress, no. No fair use at all. Indeed. Time for Jack to move to Europe. You know what? I'll move to a different country if I get enough money to do so, okay? Let's take a look at this letter. All right. Dear Leader McConnell, Speaker Pelosi, Leader Schumer, and Leader McCarthy, we write to you today regarding recently reported efforts to include a package of intellectual property bills in the year-end spending bill that includes a bunch of different things and a felony streaming proposal. We appreciate your ongoing efforts to ensure that the government receives the funding necessary to provide the services so many Americans rely upon during this challenging time, and we are committed to working with you to make this process a success. We ask that you decline to include this package of bills in the funding bill. Because, guys, if this does get added to the funding bill, we're kind of fucked. Like, in an unspeakably deep way. If this gets added to the funding bill, there's almost no chance of us getting rid of it before it gets signed in. And then we're in a whole lot of deep shit for creating content. Yeah. Even though I don't usually stream games, I don't usually stream games, right, guys? I'm not sure how legal it is for me to actually be showing articles on my screen if like fair use suddenly becomes a felony. If like reporting on this stuff, if talking about this stuff, if discussing this stuff and showing visuals on screen can result in a felony. I don't know if I'll be able to keep streaming if this happens. Like I don't want to go to jail. I wouldn't do well in prison. Have you seen my skin? Flawless. I would not do well in prison. Economic crisis better legislate streamers? Exactly. As creators, innovators, small businesses, online service providers, libraries, educators, and civil society organizations, we are concerned with including controversial copyright or trademark bills in a must-pass piece of legislation. We respect Congress's intent to improve our intellectual property system and protect the rights of creators and entrepreneurs. However, certain aspects of this package of bills will have negative impacts on small and medium-sized businesses, creators, libraries, and their patrons, students, teachers, educational institutions, religious institutions, fan communities, internet users, and free expression. It's a lot of bad things. Accordingly, all signatories have serious concerns with at least some aspect of the bills slated to be included in their current state, and we stand ready to work with Congress to avoid their unintended consequences. In order to allow that process to take place, we ask that you decline to include this package of bills in any must-pass government funding bill, and instead allow these bills to be considered through the regular order process. We appreciate your attention to this important matter. We're looking forward to working with Congress to improve the proposed package through the legislative process. Thank you for your consideration. We have all kinds of shit. Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna look up to see if the Lincoln Network is related to the Lincoln Project. What is the Lincoln Network? Okay, I don't think it's similar. I don't think it's related. They just both have Lincoln in the name. Sure, you can call in, Xavier. Go for it. Oops.
Oh my goodness.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
So here I am, literally editing a video for YouTube, and then this news breaks to me.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? Who wrote this bill?
Senator Thom Tillis.
Thom Tillis, if you're listening to this, which I know you are not, go fuck yourself. Like, this is okay. Let me open up my OBS.
He is the U.S. Senator to North Carolina.
Everything is copyrighted, okay? And here's the thing. Small creators, when they make something, they don't have $20 bajillion for lawyers to protect themselves from getting ripped. Maybe even from large companies and their media teams.
Yeah.
Like, who
I don't.
fucking, like, this right here, I will be a felon.
I will be too. I did a Let's Play once.
And I'm not, no, for real. Like, if this passes, the only content I will create will be just 100% about this. You know?
Not nonstop until it gets repealed.
Nonstop. That's a promise. You can hold me to it.
Okay, I will.
Uh,
I'll come after you with my lawyers.
with your lawyers. Yeah, it's a joke. Here we are. I just pulled up my screen.
Mm-hmm.
My thing. Whatever. All this shit that I put so much time into, wasted, gone, destroyed.
I guess you could still do what you're doing right here on your screen, but you wouldn't be able to show any of the things you're talking about.
It's still just
Yeah,
absolute nonsense.
absolute dog shit. I agree.
Who on earth? I want to know if he had I want to know who donated to him.
Like all of like the major motion picture, television networks slash lobbying groups. They're all kinds of that stuff got sent to him. I think I just read $100,000 got sent to him.
Yeah, basically. Also another thing, fucking, I don't really like piracy, but you know that creators were already struck with tons of bullshit.
Oh yeah, I got I watched for reference out there. I watched the entire Michigan voter hearing, like the voter fraud hearings with Rudy Giuliani. I got struck with a copyright notice from that for a 3-minute speech that one of the sitting members of at the hearing gave in the middle of the hearing. I got struck with a copyright notice for that, a copyright claim.
Yeah, it's absolute bullshit.
Because some song sampled her dialogue for it.
Yeah. And bigger creators have the ability to bullshit against that. And this would be absolutely disastrous beyond speaking, beyond everything.
Yeah. I when so for those of you who don't know, on YouTube at least, if you get hit with a copyright claim, basically if you want to dispute it, that can essentially just take away all the revenue you might be generating from that video
and give it to the company.
If you dispute it, then neither sides make money, and YouTube, I believe, just gets to pocket that money.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. When you dispute it, neither party gets to profit from it. And maybe,
I'm gonna be honest here. Yeah, I play Osu. Terrible weeb game. Some songs on there have some really bad they're just straight ripped,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even a fan of the Digital Millenniums Act. I already thought the Digital Millenniums Act was absolute horseshit too. Think about it. I mean, Disney is making God knows how much money. What?
Oh yeah.
What's Disney's market cap right now?
I have no idea. Infinite money. But basically
enough to build the Death Star.
Yeah. I mean, basically, these are companies that already make shit tons of money, and they want to squeeze more money out. And now, granted, I feel
creators.
I feel like there is a more moderate middle ground where, you get they get a tiny cut of this. I don't know how much music companies make off of Spotify, I can't
It's a
imagine it's
fraction of a penny per
yeah.
qualifier. Yeah.
Well, why aren't they getting that from Twitch? Like I feel like that should solve a lot of these problems.
Yeah, absolutely. And sure, I'd be willing to pay extra to play certain songs. So basically, I was wanting to do a video, right? Um,
Hmm.
just so you know, covers of songs aren't fair use.
Yeah.
That makes absolute zero. Like, I tried to call these publishers, and do you realize how long and how much time I wasted to basically be told fuck off?
Oh, I bet it was
Like for a
incredible.
YouTube video, I wanted to do a cover of I forget what it was called. Shit. Oh my goodness. It's a really old song.
Happy birthday.
No. No, Happy Birthday is free for everyone to use.
It's
Uh
it's it's not though.
as far as I know, from what I've read,
Wait, did it become free to use? Because last I checked.
I've heard it has become free to use
Oh, that's
after, like,
nice.
I mean, it's nice, but like dystopian future? Dystopian future who?
Indeed, indeed. Oh, it recently public
Cyberpunk
domain.
who?
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, why can't we have cyberpunk future instead of
I mean, at the very
dystopian? Only YouTube is only owned by like the only channels up of like two of the largest creators, and then networks, and then nobody else.
at the very least, like in a cyberpunk future, we get like cool robot arms, like fancy cyborg bodies. You know,
Yeah,
there's like an exchange here. Whereas right now we just kind of get fucked over by companies, and that's it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
That is capitalism, and
I
see,
want.
this is one of the reasons we don't need money in politics. Like, I mean, there's infinite reasons of why we don't need money in politics.
True. But one of the big
Everything is
ones.
copyrighted. Like, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Every logo, every everything. The software that you use on a normal basis. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
not OBS, of course. Um, but everything is copyrighted.
Yeah. I mean, technically, you have a little Twitch icon in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. That's copyrighted.
Right. I mean, this font, not. Uh, it is where I actually have a license for this font. Um, but
Okay,
other than that,
trademarked versus copyrighted. Okay, chat. Okay, chat. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it doesn't matter. It's intellectual property. Like, when I make something, technically it's my property. You know, when I create something, when I create a video, when I do something, that's my property. Um, but you don't have, when you're not a company with lawyers, you don't have the ability to defend it.
True.
I mean, you can copyright strike it on YouTube or wherever, but you know, if a big company's using it on T-shirts or your own website or their own website, like it, basically you have nothing, no resources available to defend your property.
Well, and like there is like the argument out there, well, you can represent yourself in court. Well, the problem is
Oh,
like
please.
the problem is these companies have enough money to pay enough lawyers where like they can waste an almost infinite amount of your time in court. Like
Yeah, I
and
mean,
that's
have you
if
heard
you
of
can represent yourself even effectively.
yeah, I mean, that's fucking ableist to ask someone to represent themselves in court.
Mhm.
I think that's ableist.
I'm not sure if it's ableist, but it is one of the
I
ways in
think
which
some people
capitalism is weighted against individuals.
I think it's I mean, you might create something, but what if you don't have the ability to speak? What if you're mute? What if I mean, there are still ways around this, but I just
Yeah,
think
there are ways in which it can be ableist. Yeah.
like if this passes, everything I worked for, literally, like almost everything that I've worked for is basically down the drain.
Yep.
You know?
And we have people in chat right now who have literally passed patents of their own. We have people in chat right now who literally work in the music industry who are calling for abolishing copyright laws. Like,
Yeah, for real.
even people who benefit from these laws don't necessarily like them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm like I said, I'm not a fan of the Digital Millenniums Act.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just fair use. Fair use doesn't exist anymore. Like because they can copyright strike you on anything.
Yep.
They'll take. I don't know if they'll take you to jail. I mean, Twitch legitimately has my social security number. You know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, they can track me down pretty easily.
Yep.
I'd say. Like, oh, not to mention that this is like also another thing with a lot of leftist streamers and people on YouTube. Not only does it affect expression, it affects, you know, basically there will be no one to say anything against companies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess you could go on the street and be like, fuck capitalism. I mean,
We've
that's what
tried
I
that a
would
lot
do,
in this country. We've tried
you
that
know.
so many times.
But it's not as safe as, you know, gently whispering into the microphone, fuck capital.
Indeed.
You know?
It's not as safe as ASMR. Indeed.
It's, you know, there is no ban button in real life.
True.
I mean, I just want to know how vague this bill is, because if it's as vague as I'm imagining it is, almost everything will be like everything on the internet will fall apart.
Yeah, I mean it sounds like it's pretty darn vague. Any unauthorized streaming of copyrighted material is a felony.
Yeah, that's pretty, you know, of how much,
I like
you know.
I've been copyright striked for just using like trailer footage in a like putting some trailer footage up from a video, right? Like using the promotional material of copyrighted things can get you a copyright strike.
I know
It's wild.
wild. And companies are just, not only is YouTube and Twitch taking from, that's all the bourgeoisie ever does, is take.
Yep.
You know, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what they do. And I was thinking of leaving Twitch anyway, to be honest. There's new TOS. And Twitch TOS is always vague. It has always been vague.
Vagueness helps them.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought about making my own service.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the resources.
It's hard to do.
It's certainly not the easiest thing.
Yeah, I mean, like there's a reason like even big content creators don't go and like make their own streaming services for their own content. It's difficult.
Yeah. I mean, there's other reasons too. I mean, I don't want to basically, because I can't afford hosting, I'd have to host it myself. And that means that literally anyone can get my IP address.
Gotcha.
I mean, you'd have to be, DDoSing is illegal, but who's gonna stop them, I mean, I already have haters. I'm gay. Oh my god. So this video I'm working on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
What are you working on?
Where is my video cable? Voice meter. There it is. Voice meter. Let's put that. Take this. Yeah. So basically, this what I'm working on right now is this right here. It's literally like something happened on stream
Mm-hmm.
where this guy literally paid me $60 to watch his absolute garbage fire of a music video.
Okay.
Not only that,
How garbage fire are we talking?
I will send you the link.
Okay.
Okay? Because it is whew, like, I mean, I won't pay you $60.
True.
We don't have that kind of money around here.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm not gonna watch it on stream, Smug Pug. I'm just gonna watch it in my own time, for however long I feel like. Okay. I'm
I
just
mean,
curious.
it's so cringe. It is. Yeah. I forgot his name for a second. I really don't want to. Oh my god, he filmed vertically.
Oh no. Oh no.
It really pisses me off. Okay, because I hate when people have like the shittiest camera and the shittiest quality,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm over here with the fanciest stuff, and then people are like people prefer watching someone's that's prettier but has shittier quality.
Mm-hmm.
It
It's frustrating.
found it. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you because boy, is this is a treat. See, I mean, if I actually release this and then after that, you know, broadcasting after the thing gets passed, you know, he can copyright strike me and I can go to YDC and then prison. A fucking felony.
Yeah, a fucking felony. You'll lose your
Whew.
voting rights over that shit.
How would the okay, so my question is to chat. How would the abolishing of copyright go? You know,
Um,
how would
I
people protect their content?
see. I don't have any qualms with the baseline idea of copyright. Where
Right, me neither.
so like there is to a certain extent, I think, a need for copyright. But when we're talking about like
Well,
this sort of
I have a
overreach, I'm just I'm not entirely sure how to have consistent laws or rules regarding that unless there's like some sort of like you have more rights the smaller you are, I guess, over your content. I'm not sure.
right, right. I mean, we are talking about the people that have tried to make a job out of content creation, and some of them have succeeded off of this. You know,
Mhm.
uh, I, for real, I'm all about transformative content. Uh, but that gets into sort of a thing where it's like, so um my idea is to have a third party organization that keeps track of who owns certain properties and intellectual properties. Um, it would work like you upload videos, photos, whatnot to the site, and it would keep it in a database. I'm not saying that the database would be used to strike anyone, because I think that should work on an individual basis so that people can be like, oh, this is transformative and this isn't transformative. You know?
Mhm.
I just Does showing a face over your show make it transformative? To what extent of additional labor slash modification? Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Uh, literally, I hate when people just. I hate React Andes. I hate people that react to stuff, and they're literally like, it's just their face. You know, I don't believe that that's transformative enough.
But like Smugpug is bringing up a good question of like since this line is relatively arbitrary and subjective, this is something that can go both ways, right? Like part of the reason large companies and lobbyists are able to push it so far against like the rights of consumers is because the line is arbitrary and subjective, and they have a lot of money pushing where they think the line should be. Um, so I guess we need to find like a more amenable subjective line. And I'm not entirely sure how to do that. I feel like I would need to know a lot more about copyright law. Maybe I can get a
Yeah,
lawyer on here sometime.
I mean, yeah, you're definitely much bigger than me. You have a bigger reach than me. You're more likely to find a copyright lawyer. Well, yeah, actually, I do know a law student,
Oh,
but that's
Pisco?
about it. Uh, no. Hang on. Literally, I believe. Just let me scroll through my Discord servers while I create dead air for you.
Yeah. Um
Admiral Coffee.
Oh, Admiral Coffee. I feel like I've encountered them before. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a thing where I've been on so many different streams before.
Hmm.
Uh, where I mean, if you're in the Twitch politics sphere, you know me, but you don't watch me.
Boo.
Let's be honest here. And yeah, you should absolutely watch me.
Indeed.
I think I'm entertaining. I don't know, but that's for you to decide.
It's the marketplace of ideas.
Oh my god. I hate when people say that. It just reminds me of the invisible hand will solve everything.
Oh yeah, I mean it. Yeah, the marketplace of ideas is where the invisible hand goes to, like, buy its coercive weapons against the working class.
Trickle down ideas. Okay, so trickle down ideas. That that would be against this new law here. Literally, I'm leaving the United States if this happens.
It
Well,
would really
like I
be.
would try. I'd fail maybe, but
I mean, realistically, it might be one of the only ways to continue streaming copyrighted content that has some amount of copyright related to it.
um,
Good
the
point.
bourgeoisie.
What?
What's the good point?
Oh,
Yeah,
most suggestions of copyright abolition come in tandem with the teardown of capitalism, because as we continually exploit artists, there's not really a feasible way to abolish it. True. True.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been exploited before, so as an artist, so as an artist, I wouldn't make enough money.
Yeah, neither would I.
As a video editor, I wouldn't make enough money yet. If you need videos edited, yeah, call me. I'm good at it. I even have samples, but
Well, do you have any final memes?
uh, I don't get to talk about Katie Porter.
No, you can't be on here for the
No,
entire stream.
no. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Because then I can copyright strike you.
I know, exactly, exactly. I have to protect
My
my
voice,
intellectual property.
my voice is my intellectual property. No one can have it.
That's right. You all have to, like, bash your heads against walls. You can't even remember Xavier's voice. That
Yeah.
that infringes on
That'll
the
be.
intellectual property.
It's a thought crime.
Exactly.
Oh
Exactly.
my god. Yeah, that's about it. That's my input.
Okay.
Like, if this passes, what bill is this? So I can look this up.
It is called. So it's in a collection of bills called S1273 HR 2426. There's also the Case Act. There's also S3449 and HR 6196, and the Trademark Modernization Act, as well as a felony streaming proposal. I'm not sure if, like, all of this has one neat name attached to it yet. But that's, like, the collection of bills and packages. So this bill is by Thom Tillis. Yes. Senator from good old North Carolina.
Oh, that explains it.
Yep.
You freaking ugh. Yeah, I don't have any more memes. I can't be on here for the whole stream. So trans rights.
Hell yeah.
I will plug once. Not 3 times like I did last time.
Okay. Yes.
Twitch.tv/XavierXeta. I also while you're there, you can type in the chat basically !YouTube, or like just click on all my links. Seriously, you have a Twitter account. I'm so close to 100 followers on Twitter. Yeah, that that's all I have to say.
All right.
Trans rights.
You have a good evening.
Yeah.
Bye.
Ahoy.
Ahoy to you as
Ahoy in
well.
reverse.
Yoha. All right. See ya.
Johan. Bye.
Oh, that was fun. Xavier's always a gem. Go check him out, okay? All right. Yawn. Yawn again. Okay. I'm a gem. Crystal gem. We can't talk about based Katie Porter yet because we still have yet another thing to talk about. The death of Facebook. Want to talk about seizing the memes of production? Your Environment Seattle, I'm always down to talk about seizing the memes of production, okay? If you want to call in to talk about copyright stuff, since I understand you have a few patents yourself, feel free. Will you kill Facebook? Yes, killing Facebook is what you have to kill after you kill God. It's like a JRPG. Your Environment Seattle. You can just call me directly. I think we're still friends. I believe we're still friends. There we go. There we go. Hello, friend.
Hello.
How's it going?
How am I sounding?
You sound great.
Thank you. Oh, where's my... There it is. Cool. Yeah. So I have been in software for a couple decades, and my startup was sued over a patent. In fact, a garbage patent. And after that, we went on a patent filing spree.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so what did you patent? Can you?
Yes. Essentially, there is a decision-making algorithm called the REIT or REIT algorithm, and I just have an extension that basically says, well, you're going to use decisions over time with this algorithm.
Okay.
So it's a garbage patent because that's what software patents are. In generally, they are garbage.
Why? And so why do you say that?
Well, the instructions for like the idea of how you're supposed to file patents is you can't just say, here's a thing, it's a pencil, here's a thing, it's an eraser. Well, you just put these two together and that's a patent. And that is basically the example. And that is what I patented. And that is the patent that was used to sue my startup. And yeah, they're very rarely are, in my opinion, are software patents legitimate. And not only that, software patents are intellectual property that directly represent, mental labor. This is essentially legislating away the means of production in this age.
Yeah, so like what do you think can be done about that? Like as somebody who's kind of in the trenches of dealing with this stuff.
I think that there's no reason that that we should have a intellectual property for the process. The algorithm process is literally if you can sit down and if you can reverse engineer a piece of software from watching it run on your computer, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to attempt to re-implement that. And literally, that's what people do today. It's called a clean room implementation, where you take a piece of software and you say, let's figure out how we might do something similar. And they write it down and they give it to another team and they say, go build this. And that team builds it without having any contact with the thing, just from someone's impression of the thing. And that's called a clean room implementation. It's the way that you protect yourself from a few of the copyright claims or a few of the patent claims. It doesn't mean that you're completely clean because, of course, software patents exist. So
Okay. So like what, like how do we undo this badness? Because like it seems like even people who are like deep into like copyright law or know a lot about this stuff kind of seem to agree that it's like an arbitrary line. So
yeah.
how do we get a better arbitrary line, I guess?
Well, one way is, even though we exist within capitalism, there are some capitalists that aren't 100% bad, and I'd say one of those is Newegg.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a choice between Amazon and Newegg, choose Newegg because Newegg practices defensive patent patent lawyering. Basically, they search out and invalidate patent trolls.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so Newegg, really cool people. Even within capitalism, they're not the worst. So that's one. Another thing is that a lot of a few different corporations are creating defensive patent libraries. So if you're in the industry, you certainly should do that. I think there are coalitions of defensive patent libraries.
Mm-hmm.
You should join that. You should submit your intellectual property to that. Yeah, Oracle. Well, Oracle is an intellectual property troll. They literally sued someone over basically a for loop.
So can you explain what a patent troll is for people who don't
Oh,
know?
okay. Well, there's I'm not a lawyer, so you can't sue me about this.
Yes, this is not professional legal advice.
Right. I can just say whatever I want. I'm a random schmo on the internet. I have no legal background other than practicing software. So this is my opinion. Basically, if you're a non-practicing entity and you own a piece of intellectual property, you are abusing the patent system. The idea of patent is that, I invented a thing, I'm going to make people's lives better, and so I should be able to exploit this because we live within capitalism. I should be able to exploit this for a number of years. Let's say 4 years, 8 years, whatever. Come up with a number. And once that's done, then I have just given this knowledge to the community, and we're all better off for it. Well, except in practice, it doesn't work that way. In practice, what happens is you produce a product, you file one patent on it, and then 3.5 years later, you file another patent, and 3.5 years later, another patent, and another patent, and another patent. And so it's like, the free Mickey movement, where the copyright for Mickey Mouse keeps getting extended.
Mm-hmm.
It's that, but in practice, where a piece of software algorithm or a mechanical invention is essentially, or a pharmaceutical, now that's really important, gets extended far beyond the statutory term of the patent system.
Okay. Yeah, so defensive patents are basically guarding against these patent trolls.
Yeah, basically, they're saying, well, you have a patent over this, and say, no, we have our own patent over this, and this is, you can't, this is this, and it doesn't use that, and maybe you're infringing on us. So instead of us getting found guilty and paying licensing terms, you're actually collecting licensing on an idea that's actually ours, because our patent predates your patent, and that's it. It's a game. It's complete, legal jousting, and it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
But we exist within inside capitalism, so this is what you do.
And I guess it sounds like a waste of time for people who have to defend themselves, but because our system is so screwed up, it winds up being a profitable thing for these patent trolls to do.
Yes, or the polite term, if you're in court, is a non-practicing entity.
Non-practicing entity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you had your way, how would you fix this problem? Because like I imagine it's also like, the threat of felonies on Twitch also pertains to what you do on Twitch. I don't think that you're a big gamer on here, as far as I know. But I imagine it has a lot of ramifications on things that aren't related to gaming too.
Yeah, if I want to do YouTube reviews, that's right out. And I regularly, I mean, not regularly. I'm a lazy Omega level streamer. So I will do some YouTube reviews every once in a while because people make all sorts of crazy conspiratorial nuclear videos, and I love to mock those. So I do like to do commentary, but yeah, that's a all of a sudden that's a personal risk to me if that's a felony.
Right.
And that's absolutely ridiculous that we would have criminal charges on someone for doing this kind of a thing.
Yeah, a felony too. Like
Yeah.
felons lose like their right to vote in a lot of places. Like, you know, there are big time consequences to felonies. You can get fucking jail time if this passes.
Yeah, it's terrible. So yeah, I would okay, in general I have recommendations. Perhaps the most lib take that I could say is that, okay, if you must have a compromise, then here's how patents work. We go back to first to invent. That means when you are an inventor, you have, and I did this back when we were doing our patents, is you have an engineering notebook. You write down, you carefully document your ideas, how you came up with them, how you proved them out, how you turned them into a product. Right now, it's been turned to first to file. And that means that you literally don't care about the process. You don't care about the discovery. It's purely a legal mechanics. So if you see an invention out there and there's no patent on it, you could, if it hasn't actually gone to commercial distribution, you could try to file a patent and basically snipe their invention, which is terrible. And it would be really hard to prove that. So go back to first to invent. That means engineering notebooks. That means signing every page with your name. This is like a weird documentation process, right? But if you want to be an inventor, this is how you would go about it. And then also, your inventions must go against some kind of academic review, because we have this principle where you shouldn't have trivial patents. You shouldn't have pencil plus eraser. That's garbage. And that should go in front of academic review.
Okay.
And it, kind of just extended interrogation to see if this is actually adding to the knowledge of the world. And if it's not, you don't get a patent.
Yeah, I mean, like on paper, there's a lot about patents and copyright that should be good. It's just like over time, it's moved away from like, oh, Walt Disney deserves compensation because he invented Mickey Mouse. I know he didn't. There's a whole lot of controversy around that, but just for the sake of argument, he invented Mickey Mouse, and then like it's 100 years later, and Walt Disney is dead for like 50 years, and somehow Mickey Mouse is still copyrighted, and somehow Mickey Mouse is still all of these things. Also,
Yep.
Thank you so much to the several people who just hit the follow button. I don't know what I'm doing, but thank you very much.
Cool. I guess in general, though, I would say we should start by abolishing intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
So then we only have intellectual property patents, so that we only have copyright and trademark. And then we should try to dismantle copyright as much as possible.
Yeah.
As we, overthrow hegemonic capitalism and reach the perfect world. Until we get to that perfect world, I recognize that artists have value. Art is incredibly important, and we need to protect people who are making art. We need to give them a lifestyle. We need to give them a way to inspire them to make art and let them make these great things. So I think I brought up the idea of democracy vouchers in Seattle. We should have art vouchers so that the state pays artists to make art.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah. Yeah, the like part of it is we don't necessarily need like copyright law in order to make sure that like movies aren't being distributed in full like on YouTube without compensation going to the people who worked on those movies. We don't like, we can have specific legislation that's like, hey, you can't do this, you can't do X, Y, etc., without having like copyright law where it's like, if you use a 5-second clip from this movie, we're gonna come after you. Like I remember I played during the election, there was that cringy kind of lib video of like Avengers Infinity War, but it had like a bunch of politicians' heads on different characters at the end. And like I got copyrighted 5 times for having that in the video. Like 5 different copyright strikes. It took like over a month to get that actually posted on YouTube. Like that, I don't think there's any real reason to have that. We can have more specific laws without having these like weird automated systems dominating our digital spaces.
In some ways, tort reform, as cringe as that is to say that, well, the person suing needs to pay their court costs, and as well, if this is like, you know, a burden to the person that's being sued, it should be much easier for them to, you know, to get through the court system. It is in a sense, if not ableist, it is definitely an attack on a person's class. Someone
Yes.
of no means certainly isn't able to deal with them. They're not able to create art, no matter if that art is slightly derivative or mostly derivative. I mean, it's still art. It's still, you're providing the host service, and that's a thing. I think that what we really need is networks that broadcast and protect our rights instead of infringe on our rights. Like Amazon is essentially infringing on our rights. YouTube is infringing on our rights to fair use. They are overly aggressive, and they do not protect us in any way. So we should have a co-op, a streamer co-op, if that's at all all. And that's one of the things I really wanted to talk about, because there are technologies that we can support, like PeerTube, which is an open source video site, and they're promised that they're adding live streaming eventually, but I don't know how rapidly that will be developed. But PeerTube is an option. There's of course Mastodon as an alternative to Twitter and Facebook if you like short text. And I recently discovered this for broadcasting radio, Icecast and Libra Time, which is like a radio and stream segmenting, sort of like how to schedule your programs. And so all kinds of open source software like this could, you know, we could have something like a GG site for every streamer out there, and we all collected ourselves in this sort of streamer co-op community. Oh yeah, and chat, by the way. Chat is one of the most important facets of this, and so there's different IRC servers that basically emulate exactly what Twitch does. I mean, Twitch is literally built off of IRC, which is open source software.
Yeah.
And so they're using that intellectual property that was given to the public in order to, you know, repackage and piece together this wonderful social experience. But it's them making, you know, 30 to 50% of the profits when we donate to the streamer.
Right. Yeah. Well, do you have any final memes?
Just that one. Seize the memes of production. Join PeerTube and all that. Support things like Unreal IRC Daemon, which is one of the IRC servers that might work for this kind of thing. And yeah, Revolt Rise, Vouch.gg is an example, and I would advocate for more people doing that thing if you're a serious streamer, so that you can escape the trap of Twitch someday.
Yeah. Well, and where can people find your work?
Well, I've got this right here. YesTV.org goes to my YouTube, or my handle on Twitch is YourEnvironmentSeattle, all one word. And I am a lazy Omega level streamer, but I love to say hello and answer any questions about nuclear energy and climate change.
Yeah.
And that's my thing.
I want to have you back on sometime in the near future because I want to talk with you about the idea of using nuclear desalination to turn the Sahara into a jungle. That's been an idea I've seen floating around on the conservative end of Twitch, and I would love to talk more in depth with it about it with you.
Not a bad take. Not a bad take at all.
Yeah, we'll be in touch. Okay.
Cool. I'll see you around.
You have a good one.